next rank trick. Alright, let's try to get the 100 rings over here. I got him. So there's another GP gauge up. Now let's go and bring out a gravity dive right here. Alright, time to go to lap 2. Alright, there's the last of our GP gauge ups right there. Darn it, I just hit a boat right there and that made me lose some speed. I just got an X-rank trick right there on that jump. Time now for the final lap. I can tell that my jump was way too early right there as I ended up with a B rank trick. A double S rank trick. And we get 20 rings. All back-to-back X-rank tricks right there. That's very impressive. I've still got a chance here trying to get the win on this race. But let's see what we can do about it. I think we should be able to get the win here. Yes, we will! Alright! That was quite an intense battle right there. Right at the front, right there at the end of that race. But I'm glad we were barely able to do just that. Alright, now time for the next race. Alright, so now we're going to head off to the Gigan Rocks. And for our next extreme gear, let's go ahead and use the Legend. Alright, let's go. Alright, X-rank trick there. And this extreme gear is known for having 2+1 trick ranks right here for gear changes. We just got a special move right there, which is very nice. Alright, 30 rings. Alright, time to bring out a gravity dive right here. And it literally just automatically made me do the best trick rank possible right there. That's kind of interesting. Ah, dang, I just ran out of GP while trying to take that turn. But we do get a trick rank +1. So we can have an easier chance here to try to get a better trick ranks right here off the jumps. There's the next rank trick. And we do get another one of those right there on that jump as well. And another X rank trick right there on that jump. And we just got another trick rank +1. Another X rank trick. And we just got another special move. Sweet. Alright, now it's time for the final lap. We're really doing a good job getting those X-rank tricks right now. Those trick rank +1s that we used from earlier are really helping me out. A double S rank trick. And again, it just automatically made me do the best trick possible. We are going to get the 100 rings, but unfortunately Dr. Eggman came in first. It really sucks for us right there, and we ended up in 6. So even with those trick rank +1s that we used, just wasn't good enough to make us come out on top. But it is what it is. Alright, let's see what happens now in the next race. Alright, we're going to head off to the Geegan device now. Alright, now what should my next extreme gear be? Let's go ahead and use the GC booster.
Alright, bring it on!
Alright, here we go. There we go! Now we're going to get a perfect start. And there's a GC boost up. Another GC boost up right here. It's going the right path here. There's the X-ray trick. We're going to use the gravity dive here. Dang it. Unfortunately, one of those things just couldn't pull toward me right there for what I was hoping for. So much for trying to get through that turn perfectly. But at least we are in the lead in first place, which is good. So let's go and see what happens now on lap 2. Alright, there's another GC booster. We also do have a magnetic barrier with us as well.
See ya.
Alright, let's go on the right again. Alright, let's try a better walk here with this gravity dive. Ah, dang it. That thing still couldn't pull toward me right there. What the heck? Alright, final lap. From what I can tell right now on the map, we do have a pretty nice lead. So even though it sucked out here, that thing couldn't pull toward me right here while trying to take that turn perfectly with the gravity dive right here. We're still doing just fine out there. Alright, so all because we're in first right now, we got no choice but to take the left path this time. Well, let's see if third time will be the charm right here, that we can make this gravity dive work out perfectly. No. But we should still be able to get that win in first place right here, looks like. Yes, we will. Alright. So that really turned out to be a pretty good race overall. We did manage to win that one by 4.5 seconds over Wave. Alright, now on to the next race, and we got 5 more to go in this segment. Alright, so now we're going to head off to the Crimson Crater, and next up, we are going to use the Magic Broom.
All right, bring it on.
Alright, let's do it. Alright, that's a good start. I got that vision trap. Alright, there's an X-Rank trick. Now let's go ahead and fly through these rings here. Alright, let's bring out a gravity dive right here so we can hit those barrels. I got the parts locked now. And now let's go to lap 2. Alright, there's that status trap. So we'll go ahead and bring that out after we fly through these rings. There we go. Alright, I'm gonna try to go for the 100 rings over here this time. Oh, I messed up. Oh well. But we got our chance to try to get them here on the final lap. Alright, that was another good gravity dive. Alright, time to see what happens on the final lap. Alright, now let's try to see if we can get the 100 rings over here this time. There we go! We got them! Also gladly take an X-ray trick over here. I just missed the item. But it doesn't matter, because we're going to pull off a dominating win right there in first place. Okay. So, we're going to win that race by around 17 seconds over my buddy Tails. That was quite impressive right there, if I do say so myself. And Dr. Eggman came in last right there. That is something great for us to see. Alright, but anyways, we got 4 more races to go in this segment. Now let's go and move on to Security Corridor. And we're going to use the Wanted skates this time.
Bring it on!
Alright, here we go. Alright, very nice start. Alright, we're going to go ahead and grind on those electrifying rails. Alright, let's go hit some fan blades here with this gravity dive. Got ring cap up. Now on to lap number 2.
See ya.
Alright, final lap. Oh, we really got quite a battle going on up at the front right here. This ought to get pretty interesting. I missed the item, but we do get another ring cap up. Alright, there's that finish line straight ahead. And we will hold on for the win in first place! Nice! That was incredible. Alright, so we won that race by around 1.5 seconds over Cream, but my buddy Tails unfortunately got last place on this one. That sucks for him. But anyways, let's continue on to the next race as we have 3 more to go in this segment. Alright, on to Astra Babylon now, and this time we are going to use the Angel Devil.
All right, bring it on.
Alright, let's do it. Alright, there's a perfect start. And we also already get an X-Strike trick. Alright, time to use a gravity dive here. And there's, of course, 2 different spots to use this on this track here for each lap. Alright, 30 rings. Alright, moving on to lap number 2. I got our gear change ready. I missed my chance to fly through those rings. That's not good. Alright, looks like we get an Angel, and we just got an X-Strike trick on that jump. Okay, there we go. Now we can fly through those rings. Alright, final lap. Alright, there's more rings that we can fly through right here. I just barely hit that block right there by gravity dive right here. Alright, once again, there's more rings that we can fly through. And Cream was the one that came in first place. Alright, we'll settle for second. That's not too bad. Alright, only 2 more races left to go in the segment. So next up, we're going to head over to the 80s Boulevard. And we're going to use the throttle for this one. And this extreme gear is, of course, known for having random gear changes.
Alright, bring it on.
Okay, let's go. if you guys don't know by now, the throttle basically has 3 different kinds of possibilities for a gear change. Max speed up, GP gauge up, or range cap up. Oh, I was lucky on how I avoided getting hit by that truck that I went right nearby. But we barely managed to stay safe there. Alright, 10 rings. Alright, we do have our first gear change ready. We'll use it after I take the jump right here. What do we get? Max speed up! Alright, I'll take it. Alright, lap 2. We also just got an X-strength trick. And we have another gear change ready. We'll see what we get from this after we take the jump over here. Alright, GP gauge up this time. That'll work. Just got another X-strength trick. Alright, 20 rings. Oh god, I almost fell off there. That was close. Alright, there's our last gear change, and we're gonna get a max speed up out of that. Alright, final lap. So I'd say all 3 of our gear changes that we used worked out pretty nicely for us. Another X-strength trick. Alright, that is a first place victory right there on that race. Well done. We're going to win that race by 1.4 seconds over Amy. That was very nice. Alright, let's get into the final race now in the segment. And it's time to finish it off the 90s Boulevard. And we're going to end things off by using the rainbow. Always very fitting extreme gear to end things off with here because of how special it is with the unlimited gear changes that you can use.
Alright, bring it on!
Alright, let's do it. Alright, pretty good start there. Alright, there's an X-strength trick. Alright, there's the grind. Time to hop on this rail. Let's go hit some billboards here with this gravity dive. And now we're on the lap 2. Oh no, now we get the low speed. And I can't even use my gravity control while that is going on. That's a shame. That was actually actually go ahead and get on this wall right here so we can kind of take a little bit of a shortcut. And we can go and hop on that rail so we can do a little bit of a grind. That's actually kind of a nice little move that I just did there. Alright, now we'll go ahead and bring out the air ride. Alright, final lap. Let's try to make this count. Just got an extra trick there. We do have enough rings for the grind, but I want to try to get enough for the bike. Alright, there we go. Got enough for it now. Alright, now we'll just go ahead and use the gravity dive here so we can make our way to the finish line. And we'll end off that last race in third. Alright, not too bad. And looks like Dr. Eggman was the one that came in first. And my buddy Tails ended up coming in last, unfortunately. But yeah, I do say for the most part, we did have some very nice finishes. Some races we could have had better luck on, but either way, that was still a great first segment to start off this birthday special for how it turned out. Alright, so anyways, that is going to do it for Sonic Riders Zero Gravity for the Nintendo Wii as part of TashaGamer's birthday special. But we still have 4 more games left to play, and I will see you all for the next segment right after this, so stay tuned.